Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do when someone hurts you is nothing loud, nothing dramatic, just a calm response. See, when somebody hurts you, the natural reaction is anger. You want to argue. You want to prove your point. You want them to feel the same pain they gave you. But let me tell you something. When you react with anger, you give them control over your emotions. But when you stay calm, everything changes. A calm response shows strength. Well, it shows that you value your peace more than winning an argument. Anybody can shout. Anybody can shout. Anybody can lose control. But it takes a strong person to stand there, look someone in the eye, and respond with dignity. Sometimes the calm response is simply saying, I understand how you feel, but I deserve better. No yelling, no insults, just truth. And let me tell you something else. Silence and calmness make people think. When you stop arguing and start protecting your peace, the other person suddenly realizes they can't control you anymore. Your calmness becomes your power. People expect drama. They expect tears, shouting, emotional reactions. But when you respond with calm confidence, you change the entire situation. You take the power back. Now listen carefully. Being calm doesn't mean you accept disrespect. No. It means you respect yourself enough not to lower your standards. Sometimes the strongest response is simply walking away with grace. Because the moment you choose peace over chaos, you win. And remember this, the right people in your life will never require you to lose your dignity just to keep them. So the next time someone hurts you, don't react with anger. Take a breath. Stay calm. Speak with strength. When someone hurts you, the first thing that rises inside your heart is emotion. It can be anger, disappointment, sadness, or even confusion. Your mind begins racing with thoughts about what you should say or how you should respond. Most people react immediately. They raise their voice, they argue, they try to defend themselves, or they say things they later regret. But the truth is, the most powerful thing you can do in that moment is to control your emotions and respond calmly. Controlling your emotions does not mean you are weak. In fact, it means the exact opposite. It shows strength, maturity, and deep self-respect. Anyone can react with anger. Anyone can shout when they feel hurt. That is the easiest reaction in the world. But it takes real strength to pause, breathe, and choose a calm response instead of letting your emotions take over. When someone hurts you, they often expect a reaction. They expect you to get upset, to argue back, or to create a bigger conflict. Sometimes people even feed off that reaction because it gives them a sense of control. But when you stay calm, you remove that control. Your calmness shifts the entire energy of the situation. Suddenly, the argument loses its power because you are no longer participating in the chaos. Think about it for a moment. When two people are shouting, the situation only gets worse. The anger grows, the words become harsher, and the damage becomes deeper. But when one person remains calm, it becomes much harder for the other person to continue attacking. Your calmness becomes like a mirror that reflects their behavior back to them. Instead of feeding the fire, you slowly begin to extinguish it. Controlling your emotions also protects your peace. Words spoken in anger often leave scars that cannot easily be erased. In the heat of the moment, people say things they never truly meant. They say things designed to hurt, to win the argument, or to defend their pride. But later, when the emotions settle, regret often follows. When you learn to control your emotions, you avoid saying things that could damage relationships or hurt others unnecessarily. Another powerful thing about emotional control is that it gives you clarity. When your emotions are out of control, your thinking becomes clouded. You react without truly understanding the situation. But when you stay calm, your mind stays clear. You are able to think, to observe, and to respond wisely instead of reacting blindly. Calmness also shows confidence. When you respond calmly to someone who has hurt you, you are sending a silent message. That message says that your emotions are not easily controlled by others. It shows that you value your dignity more than winning an argument. This kind of confidence is powerful because it comes from inner strength, not from loud words or aggressive reactions. Sometimes controlling your emotions means choosing your words carefully. Instead of shouting or blaming, you might say something simple and honest. You might say that you did not appreciate what was said or that you deserve to be treated with respect. When these words are spoken calmly, they carry much more weight than angry accusations ever could. In many situations, your calm response can even change the behavior of the other person. When they see that you are not reacting with anger, they may begin to realize the impact of their actions. Your calmness forces them to face the situation without the distraction of a heated argument. Learning to control your emotions is not always easy. It takes practice, patience, and self-awareness. There will be moments when the hurt feels too strong and the urge to react feels overwhelming. But each time you choose calmness instead of anger, you grow stronger. You become someone who cannot easily be shaken by negativity or conflict. In the end, controlling your emotions is about protecting your peace and maintaining your dignity. It allows you to respond with wisdom instead of reacting with regret. And when you master this ability, you discover that calmness is not weakness at all. It is one of the greatest forms of strength a person can have. When someone hurts you, one of the most underestimated tools you have is silence. So often we feel the need to speak immediately, to defend ourselves, or to make the other person understand the pain they cause. But silence can be far more powerful than words. Silence allows you to pause, reflect, and decide how you want to move forward without letting emotions dictate your actions. It's a way of taking back control over a situation where you might otherwise feel powerless. When you stay silent in the face of hurt, it forces the other person to pause too. People are used to reactions, anger, tears, frustration, but when they meet silence, they are confronted with the unexpected. Suddenly, your calm demeanor creates a space they cannot easily manipulate. They begin to notice that their words or actions no longer have the power to provoke the response they were expecting. This is not about ignoring the problem or pretending it doesn't matter. It's about responding from a place of strength, not from impulse. Silence also gives you the opportunity to truly process what happened. When someone hurts you, the initial rush of emotions can be overwhelming. Anger, sadness, confusion, and disappointment can swirl together so quickly that it feels impossible to think clearly. Speaking in that moment often leads to saying things you don't mean or reacting in a way that later brings regret. But silence allows you to breathe, to step back, and to see the situation with a clearer mind. You gain perspective, which allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Moreover, silence can protect your self-respect. When you react immediately with anger or hurt, you allow the other person to dictate the tone of the interaction. Your emotions become their weapon. But when you remain silent, you are showing that your worth is not dependent on their behavior. You are not willing to stoop to a level where your dignity is compromised. Silence communicates strength without the need for shouting or arguing. It demonstrates that you value yourself more than proving a point in the heat of the moment. Another important aspect of silence is that it encourages introspection. While you remain calm and silent, you have the chance to ask yourself important questions. Why did this hurt me so much? What do I need to feel safe and respected in this relationship? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? By reflecting in silence, you create the space to respond with wisdom and integrity, rather than letting anger or resentment guide your actions. Silence also has the power to make the other person reflect on their own behavior. Many people are not used to someone not reacting in the way they expect. When you refuse to argue, yell, or cry, it forces them to pause and consider what they've done. Your calm and quiet presence acts as a mirror, reflecting back the situation without exaggeration or distortion. They may begin to feel the weight of their actions because you are no longer validating the conflict with emotional reactions. The practice of using silence is not about avoiding resolution. It's about creating space for meaningful reflection and for responses that are measured and effective. It allows you to regain roll over your emotions and the situation itself. Over time, learning to stay silent in moments of hurt strengthens your emotional resilience. You begin to realize that the most powerful responses are not always loud or dramatic. They are quiet, controlled, and intentional. Ultimately, choosing silence when someone hurts you is an act of courage and self-mastery. It protects your peace, preserves your dignity, and can even influence the other person to reconsider their behavior. Silence does not mean weakness. It is a statement of inner strength and clarity. By refusing to be manipulated by immediate reactions, you reclaim your power and demonstrate a level of composure that is far more impactful than any words spoken in haste. When someone hurts you, it's natural to feel the urge to defend yourself, to explain your side, or to demand an apology. But there's a deeper power in responding with self-respect and clarity, rather than anger or blame. Choosing to respect yourself in that moment changes the entire dynamic of the interaction. It signals that you value your own dignity more than proving someone else wrong, and that in itself can be a transformative act. Respecting yourself means understanding that your worth does not depend on someone else's behavior. When someone hurts you, it's easy to internalize it, to question your value, or to think that their actions define you. But the truth is that the way others treat you is a reflection of who they are, not who you are. By keeping this perspective, you free yourself from the trap of reacting impulsively or taking responsibility for someone else's choices. When you respond from a place of calm self-respect, you are sending a clear message that your feelings, your boundaries, and your well-being matter. Self-respect also requires setting boundaries. Many times, people hurt us repeatedly because we allow them to cross limits without consequence. Choosing to respect yourself means standing firm when those boundaries are tested. It may mean calmly stating that certain behavior is unacceptable, or even walking away from a situation that continues to be harmful. This isn't about being harsh or unforgiving. It's about protecting your mental and emotional space. When you show that you respect yourself, you teach others how to treat you, and that lesson is far more powerful than any argument. Responding with self-respect doesn't have to involve words. Sometimes the most effective statement is in the way you carry yourself, your tone, your posture, your calm presence. When someone expects a reaction and receives composure instead, it can shift the energy of the entire interaction. People are often surprised when they encounter someone who won't be provoked into chaos. Your calm demeanor communicates confidence and strength without the need for shouting, blaming, or dramatic displays. That quiet power is far more influential than any loud reaction. Choosing self-respect in moments of hurt also allows for emotional clarity. Anger and resentment can cloud judgment, leading to decisions you may regret later. When you approach the situation with respect for yourself, you give your mind the space to think clearly. You can assess whether the relationship, the interaction, or the conflict is worth continuing, or if it's healthier to step away. This clarity comes from a calm, grounded place rather than the rush of immediate emotions. Additionally, self-respect creates a ripple effect in relationships. When others see that you honor your own feelings and boundaries, they are more likely to reflect on their behavior. They notice that you are not easily manipulated by guilt, pressure, or emotional games. Your consistent demonstration of self-respect establishes a standard for how you expect to be treated. Over time, this encourages healthier communication, stronger relationships, and deeper mutual respect. Respecting yourself doesn't mean ignoring the pain or pretending the hurt didn't happen. It means acknowledging it internally and choosing a response that preserves your integrity. It allows you to take control of your reactions rather than letting someone else dictate how you feel or act. It empowers you to handle conflict with wisdom, strength, and composure, and it prevents unnecessary emotional damage that comes from reactive responses. Ultimately, responding to hurt with self-respect is about reclaiming your power. It's a statement that you will not compromise your values, your peace, or your dignity for anyone. By prioritizing yourself in moments of pain, you transform the way situations unfold. You no longer give others the ability to dictate your emotional state, and instead, you respond from a place of strength, clarity, and integrity. That power, calm, grounded, and self-assured is one of the most profound ways to change everything in your interactions with others. When someone hurts you, it's easy to let anger or frustration take over, but choosing to protect your inner peace can completely change the way the situation unfolds. Peace is not just the absence of conflict. It's a state of mind, a conscious decision to not allow external negativity to control your emotions. When you prioritize peace, you are choosing to value your mental and emotional well-being above the need to react or retaliate. That choice alone gives you a sense of power and control that nothing else can match. Protecting your peace begins with understanding that you cannot control other people's actions, only your response to them. Someone may say or do something that hurts you, but you get to decide whether to let that action disrupt your calm or to respond thoughtfully. Many people fall into the trap of giving away their peace by reacting immediately and emotionally. They argue, they retaliate, and they let their hurt dictate their behavior. But when you pause and focus on maintaining peace, you shift the power back to yourself. You no longer allow someone else's behavior to dictate your emotions or your mood. Maintaining peace requires conscious effort. It means recognizing the moment your emotions are rising and choosing not to escalate the situation. It may involve stepping back from a heated conversation, taking a deep breath, or simply remaining silent. These small acts of self-control demonstrate immense strength because they show that you value calm and clarity over temporary satisfaction from reacting. In fact, the more you practice this, the more resilient you become. You learn that your inner calm cannot be easily shaken, no matter what happens around you. Protecting your peace also allows you to think more clearly. When you are caught in the storm of hurt and anger, your judgment becomes clouded. You may say things you don't mean or make decisions that later bring regret. But when you focus on peace, you give yourself the space to process a situation with clarity. You can assess whether the conflict is worth engaging in or whether it is healthier to step away. This clarity is invaluable because it helps you avoid unnecessary drama and emotional damage, allowing you to respond in a way that truly aligns with your values. Another benefit of prioritizing peace is that it sets a standard for others. When someone sees that you do not react with anger or agitation, they begin to understand that you cannot be easily provoked. Your calmness communicates strength and maturity, which can encourage more respectful interactions. People often test boundaries, but a person who consistently protects their peace sends a clear message. Expect an emotional manipulation will not control you. This quiet authority often shifts the dynamic in relationships, creating a space where calm and reason prevail over conflict and chaos. Protecting your peace does not mean you suppress your feelings or avoid confronting issues. It means you approach the situation from a place of strength rather than reaction. You acknowledge your emotions, but you do not let them dictate your actions. You may choose to calmly express your feelings, set boundaries, or take distance when necessary. Every choice is made intentionally, guided by a commitment to preserve your inner calm rather than feed the cycle of hurt and retaliation. Ultimately, choosing peace is a powerful way to reclaim your life from those who may try to harm you emotionally. It allows you to respond from a place of control, confidence, and wisdom. It transforms interactions, reduces unnecessary conflict, and strengthens your emotional resilience. When you prioritize peace, you are no longer at the mercy of someone else's words or actions. Instead, you are fully in charge of how you experience the world and protect your heart. That calm, unwavering commitment to your own well-being changes everything, turning moments of hurt into opportunities for growth, strength, and self-mastery.